hand over the keys to Anne.
Thank you so much, Tom. I am so grateful to make music for this opportunity and the larger community, and also the time to connect and close this incredible conference. It is amazing that music has brought all of us together at this one particular time in one particular place and space. I consider that really a synchronistic moment and a gift because we find ourselves together in service to learning as a community. And as we benefit, so will our students. And I can say this because every time we learn, the trickle effect to our students is real. When we engage in professional learning, we get to activate new knowledge that improves the educational experience that we create for ourselves and our students. Sometimes the learning is subtle, and other times it's a massive leap and we see the outcomes. So honor what you are doing for you and those that are connected to you. Today, there were going to be moments in our time together that I'm going to invite you to type into the chat, and I look forward to seeing your thoughts. I might stop and look at them. I might ask Lauren, who's our Make Music Guru, help here, or Tom to even stop and look at them and call it out and let us know what is being said. And if you feel so inclined, feel free to jump onto Twitter, and you can actually tag Make Music at Alfred Music or me at Anne Fennell and put a quote. Also in the chat, if you love something that you heard, type it in the chat and make a connection to it because we want to lift up whatever is connecting to you. It's my job to support us today in this and you to make connections so we make sure that this is truly a learning moment. I'm currently the president of the California Music Educators Association, and this past week completed my 36th year in education. Do me a favor and type in the chat how long you have been teaching. Or if you weren't a teacher, share how long you've been making and creating music, because that is going to give us an idea of what our experience might very well be. Looking to see numbers. I know that, for example, today I am in Washington, D.C. with folks from all over the United States, and we have the pleasure and joy of working with collegiates who have just yet to start their teaching career, and I am sitting next to people at times during the week that have 40 years in education. So thank you for taking that. I see right now that we are getting some answers in the chat. If anyone wants to read those aloud, that would be wonderful. What do you have there, Lauren?
Yeah, some awesome answers. Looks like 11 years, 7, 10,
Oh,
4,
nice.
7
20.
years, and 36 making music.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Look at the
18,
collective. That's great.
19,
50
36.
years. Someone just put in 50 years. Okay, that's awesome. What a beautiful way to know that what we are doing today is connecting with people with all types of experience in their life. Thank you for that. We have collective experience and it is profound. It's exponential, in fact. And this group right here in this space will make a difference for this fall's coming generation of students or for your own learning. Because every year we grow and it gives us more skills and value, and in turn, so receive those connected with us. I've had the privilege of teaching public school music, kindergarten through grade 12 for 32 years, from percussion ensembles and choirs and music education in K-8 orchestral work settings, to my final 10 years in high school where I had 3 large steel pan ensembles and also taught 4 levels of music composition using music tech, all prior to my current administrative position in San Diego Unified School District as the music manager. My beliefs guide me and are in the power and possibility of and everything about music. My beliefs are surrounded about music. It is my life. It has always guided me in all that I think and say and do. And today I find once again that these are aligned with this community of music creatives and educators, because music is very powerful. I believe in lifelong learning, and I believe in music for all, and in casting the educational net wide so that all humans can find themselves in and through music in the best way that supports them to express and share their individual ideas. I believe and know that music is a creative and rigorous subject matter. And this is not defined by a learning system or an institution. It's not about just the school. For me, academic is defined by the depth of knowledge and application of a subject of choice, from which we gain proficiency, and it brings us joy, while creating a sense of knowing and applying information to always learn. True learning is a connection to a reflection of oneself and others, a process that is both individual and communal, relative and absolute, and always on a continuum of growth. Well, sometimes growing, sometimes learning and reapplying, because it truly is infinite in possibilities. And I believe and know that with creativity and critical thinking, music improves the human condition through a personal expression that defines our individual and collective experience, humanity, and culture. I'm going to restate this. As we create and make music, we are improving our human condition through our personal expression that defines our individual and our collective experience, humanity, and culture. Defines our individual and our collective experience, humanity, and culture. As our students create music, they're improving their human condition through their personal expression. And this begins to create and defines our current and future collective culture. Our collective culture that's created in the moment and for generations to come by each of those individuals whom you have taught, or currently teach, or might teach in the future. Every word that you think and every word you speak and all that you do and teaches and builds the foundation to our culture, and all that you support students within this journey. This creates a collective culture, a collective creative future in every student. Because we are talking about music making and digital tools, and I feel the need here then to talk a little bit about sound for a moment. It's the reason we're all here. As a music educator, every sound that you manipulate, every rhythm or melody you and your students create, you're laying the foundation to the paths of learning, to culture. And now students get to do this with digital music making tools and technology that aligns with the brain, that say yes to all possibilities and ideas. I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. Some of you might understand this. When I started teaching music, the technology that exists now wasn't even in a dream. If we wanted a copy of something, we wrote it out or we made mimeographic copies. I would write or type on a piece of blue carbon paper. I'm not sure if any remember that. And then I would clip it to the carbon paper to a metal barrel that I would hand churn to imprint the writing on the stack of white paper with the aid of mimeographic solution. Not sure what that was made of, and I'm pretty sure they would not allow that chemical in public schools now, but it's really archaic sounding. It's like laying out letters on a printing press or using a chisel on a stone tablet. One of my first schools didn't even have a photocopier. I came from a university that had one. I got into a school that did not have one. Trust me when I say pencil and paper were the current technology of the time, not even dry erase markers. Okay, so let's take a quick survey, and I am going to look and see what in the survey in the chat, if you can tell me, what were the technologies were available to you when you first started teaching, or when you first started making music? See what you have. I was excited when we got dry erase markers and dry erase marker boards. So what technology do you know that you started creating with? Some of you might even had chalk. That took a while for me.
It's like radio and CD.
Oh yeah, exactly. If you even had that, that was wonderful.
Band in a box.
Band in a box. Thank you. Keep on reading. Thank you. Nice. Thanks so much. Aren't we lucky now to have technology to teach with on so many unique platforms? We have immeasurable achievements and growth because of this. The technologies that we get to use and teach with, and that our students can create with, sends us on a lightning speed track to creating music that aligns with the creative process. And that firing of the synapses in the human brain, it absolutely aligns with how the brain works. This supports our exponential unknown, untapped knowledge, and creativity, because the possibilities are infinite and the tools help us begin to discover this creativity in every one of us and our students. With digital music making technology, we all get to explore and create because we are all composers. Yes, I know some people don't believe that, but I believe that we are all composers. And all means all students and all music, because no one gets to tell us we can't create. And by the way, because we are all biogenetically predisposed to create and make music, and the digital making tools facilitate and enhance this, we have a learning experience that helps us reveal the creative composer and the creative human inside, and that contributes to our culture. That is part of our culture. That entire process becomes us. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think of, can you share some of the reasons, maybe even that the digital music making tools support our students? Thanks for putting that in there about the feed loop. Well, let me support you a little bit with what the digital music making actually helps you do. It actually is learner-centered. It's affordable, it's accessible, it's equitable, and it's inclusive. Digital music making tools are inclusive. And it's learner-centered because the space does not discriminate and is open to all the creation of music for everyone. What at one time could only be created on a computer at school can now be accessed on multiple devices, and you can seamlessly work on it in multiple places in the location of choice. And students can continue to work beyond the classroom walls. This accessibility is also showing up in many free or low-cost platforms, which are really democratizing the creation of music. Even the programs that were once cost prohibitive are now affordable for most people. Students can explore and experiment with the infinite aspects of music production without the need for expensive equipment or studio spaces. Digital tools also offer a huge range of features and options, so a student can explore and experiment with different ideas and styles and techniques, and can discover new instruments that they might never have ever heard before in sound. When individuals can produce high-quality outputs using these tools, despite their initial limitations, their self-efficacy and their self-esteem increases because they realize they can overcome obstacles and achieve their creative goals. The tool helps them create their goals and meet their goals. This freedom to explore without the fear of making mistakes, because it's not a mistake, it's the creative process of choosing what you like. It builds self-efficacy because students can try various ideas, iterate really quickly, and all of this leads to a sense of achievement and a belief in their ability to create something novel that is larger than themselves. This is true knowledge and true ownership of learning. And when students see themselves as a composer producing something tangible, there is no limit to what can be created. Digital music making tools are also very easy to use. So yes, they build self-esteem and self-efficacy, and yes, they are easy to use, encourages experimentation, and works seamlessly with the creative process of playing through trial and error. From beginners to advanced learners with no prior experience needed. Only time and space are needed. You see, the tools meet the learner where the learner is to discover, to engage in productive struggle. That's when we really learn. And that struggle ignites the brain to learn and recall. And once they've worked with it, they own it. They know it. And they have documented evidence, and they can teach others, and they grow. Digital tools are intuitive and follow the flow of the creative process, which is not how I was taught. Let me explain how I was taught. Learn step one, then you apply step one. Learn step two, then you apply step two. And if you don't finish 1 and 2, you don't get to go to 3. And that step-by-step sequence that follows only one possibility of a learning sequence holds back thinkers, and it is quite archaic. And it can be found in words of teachers or individuals like, no, we aren't doing that right now, or just stay with me, or we'll learn that later. And that's where the student gets bored and turns off, because the brain was actually trying to be turned on and it was excited and it wanted more, and then it gets stopped. Real learning is trial and error, out of sequence, and actually it's messy, again, without productive struggle. And real learning jumps from idea to idea at times. So a platform also provides that fluid point of access to hear the music as it's composed, which is a gift beyond measure, because it allows editing, adjusting in real time in the moment. When I used to compose, it would take weeks for me to actually hear it. And then when I would hear it, I would want to toss it all out. There are times when I could have fixed something in the moment, but I didn't get to do it for days afterwards. Kind of a waste of time, actually. The tools remove any limits or barriers to the creative process, and it opens the creative process for everyone. The freedom that students have to manipulate various instruments and elements of sound, where they can experience with different genre styles and timbres, also help them to develop their artistic voice and express their ideas. A digital tool supports the creative flow of the brain to learn all that is possible when it needs it and when it needs it, what it needs and when it needs. It doesn't jump out and say, no, not now, not today, or wait till tomorrow. It's just there for the brain to soar with. Not one of us learns the same, and a platform is an intuitive friend of the learner that works with the choice of the user. It's not filtered. It's simply there for the person to use and discover as they want. The platform, the digital tool, is that perfect tool and teacher that is just there when the word no doesn't exist. It's an open opportunity for the word yes, and. The platform helps them also become the learner, the teacher, and the creator simultaneously. I'm going to say that again. The platform helps the individual become the learner, the teacher, and the creator simultaneously. Digital tools also support skill development and knowledge acquisition. Digital tools come with intuitive interfaces, we know that, and user-friendly features, and they actually invite people to put in what they know and enhance it. It makes it easy for everyone to learn and acquire new skills. And sometimes people make sense of notation in the fact that they get to see the sound first. It teaches in a different sequence that's going to resonate with the person using it according to how they need it. When users see their progress and improvements, their self-efficacy, again, like we've mentioned, and self-esteem increases. And the skills develop because the students receive feedback in real time. The tool responds to what is created, and also the students listening and making choices and decisions. They provide the instant feedback on the work that's being created. And whether it's through real-time previews, auto-correction, or suggestions, this helps individuals understand their strengths and areas needed for improvement. Also, when users receive feedback or witness their work improving, their belief in what they're creating improves, and they have a higher self-esteem then. Nothing like seeing a student who's empowered when they hear their music. Also, how wonderful it is that we get to document and progress tracking over time, because users can review their past works, put them in a portfolio, see how their skills have evolved, and they get to observe their creative journey as a learner. This is self-reflection and recognizing their personal growth, and this, again, boosts our self-efficacy. It is a self-esteem boost, and it helps, again, with learning about who we are as a learner. It's very clear that our digital tools come with something else, and that something else is actually a community of learners, actually what we have right here, right now. It's a community of learners with resources and examples, and we learn from that. Like thinking of myself, how many times have I gone online and asked for an example of something in a platform I've used? Heck, just the other day, I used it to figure out how to change my windshield wiper because I needed to identify the steps. That community of folks that were there supported me. True to form, this happens in music. Students go online to learn from others. The number of times I saw students searching for answers online were endless. Yeah, sometimes they would ask the person next to them, but also sometimes they wanted a video of it so they could stop it and start the video and make the application and learning in real time. They're matching the learning with the moment. The community of learners is so important in the class and outside of the walls because we are humans in a collective that creates. Yeah, we create individually, but this then moves to the whole, which then begins to establish and create a culture. The very concept of collaboration also helps to create social validation. And we all thrive on that a little bit, I have to say that, because users can share their creations with others and receive feedback or gain knowledge or learn from somebody else, from a wider audience, just like we're learning through this platform today. This social validation can reinforce positive beliefs about their creative abilities. It also exposes you to something you might not have known. By interacting with like-minded individuals, your group of folks, you receive constructive criticism and engage in collaborative projects that users can gain confidence in their own skills. And digital music making tools allow students to collaborate with peers and musicians from around the world in real time and foster a sense of community and connection while facilitating the exchange of ideas and knowledge. It's really a sharing of cultures too. All of this work also supports one more thing. It supports critical thinking and a quick dance up and down of all the cognitive domains in one felt swoop. Students can learn and apply the platform. They create, they record, they edit, they're applying their knowledge and skills, they're analyzing, they don't like something, they go back, they apply something else, they synthesize the information, they stop it, they play it, they go back and reflect again. The brain is dancing through all of the cognitive domains so quickly that the brain truly is on fire. The positive energy that comes from that is palpable when you walk into a learning environment where the students are excited. If you're near that chat, one more time, if you can share maybe even a single word that describes active and engaged learning in your classroom, throw it in there. I'll give you a couple of mine. It's an energy level, it's energized, it's supportive. Lauren, if you see any words jumping up in the loop, let me know. When a classroom is engaged, they are happy, they are listening, they're really involved, they're creating. So yes, digital music making tools provide students with accessible, affordable, inclusive, equitable, and versatile platforms to explore and express their creativity and integrate into all subjects. Because really, our kind of learning now is not about learning isolated in silos, it's about integrating concepts together. No longer is it just about the piece of music, but it's about the piece of music in the context to what it might make us feel, our social emotional, or our understanding of where we are. Or maybe that music's going to sell something, or it's going to support another program or another project you're doing. The lines are now erased. It's not just about music, but it's also about how music connects, either with people or with other ways of learning. These tools foster that sense of community we just talked about and facilitate learning through resources and tutorials and encourage experimentation, ultimately supporting the exponential knowledge and creativity found in every student. And this supports, again, our self-efficacy, our self-esteem, and it's encouraging exploration and the creative process and the expectation and the knowing that all humans are creative and that those creative abilities increase who we are and expand who we are as beings in our culture. We recognize that our collective creative future is found in every student. It is here and now, and it is supported by each of you in this space. All of you present are the listeners. You are all the listeners. You are all the individuals that are going to help individuals become the composer, become the learner, the creator, the musician within, on platforms that support a creative flow and that meet us where our brains are. All of you present are these individuals that are going to help shape our future of our music. You're the innovation officers of music creatives. You are individuals who hear and listen and feel. We are walking receptors of the world of sound around us, and with this, you help mold and create experiences to share with your students and your communities. As music educators, as musicians, we are intense listeners with the ever-present sound in front of us, because sound is ever present and our ears and body are always there to receive this. They do not even get to blink like eyes do. Our ears are always listening. The invisible energy of sound courses through our bodies continuously. Our bodies of water that feel sound through its energy. Students feel this when they are creating music, and they're surrounding it with their body, with their headsets on, or their head covers on, their ear covers on. It's a body, mind, and sensory connection unique to itself that very few creatives get to experience. It's not a black note on white paper piece of music that exists outside of the human. It's all connected with us internally. And sometimes we don't even have words for it. As music educators and musicians, we are connoisseurs of sound. We sculpt the shape and mold the sound waves into invisible sound sculptures that hang in the air for a moment and then leave the space. They just float away. We do to sound energy what an airbender does to air. We manipulate the air. We are manipulating sound. We are sound energy benders. We have gifts, and we also work hard for these gifts. I've always believed that musicians and artists of all arts are some of the most experienced and educated individuals in the room because of opportunities just like this, where we are continually learning. We are lifelong learners. And as musicians, the world of sound continues to be our education, our learning. And we've been polishing our craft of learning music and sound since the first day we heard a piece of music or that unique timbre that made us stop and listen. Whether or not you even know it, we've been preparing ourselves collectively with years of listening. And we get to open this all to our students, all to children, learning, thinking, and creating. Through these lived experiences, we become aware that the world of sound that surrounds us is a palette that is begging to be painted into something tangible, begging to be heard and used for its full potential, for all people, into a new expression of the next musical idea or emotion. And we can use this world to create through a tool that lets us apply all that we hear. That's our next musical unknown. I don't even know what that is. And I can't even begin to think of all the possibilities that exist out in all of our students. Because in every one of our students is that next creative idea that cumulatively begins to create a genre and culture of music making that is waited to be revealed. We get to do this. The process of the unveiling or revealing of the new music. Much like a sculptor envisions the piece inside that block of clay or stone before it is even touched, and even through the extractive method of chipping or peeling away the stone or clay, the art within is revealed. Technology does this for our students. They get to reveal all the sounds that are inside of them. Might it be even mimicking others that lays the groundwork for them? The technology, and I'm going to restate everything that I just said a little bit, it's on the screen. Technology allows the student to be the musician, be the composer, be the learner, be the creator that reveals the musician within through the fluid platform that aligns with the creative flow and process of our brains. That is a gift that people couldn't even think of 3 generations ago. I think AI is now that next platform for us that we are not even really sure of all the possibilities of it yet. The technological platform is the open playground. It contributes to creating culture. And we know that culture is learned and created and shared. It is symbolic in something that might be concrete or fleeting. Artifacts like music, and also thoughts and beliefs. Culture is social and co-created and integrated in what we say, think, and do. We have a culture that we create within our learning environment, just like we have right here and right now. And it's ongoing and adaptive. And only when we are aware of trends or look back in time do we really see culture as it appears, not randomly or spontaneously, as if something was created from nothing, but truly as an outgrowth of every creative action, thought, and idea that builds over time and reaches beyond us to a new sound, a new musical idea. It is the manifestation of human achievement in thought, action, and idea in all forms. And for us, in sound. Yes, a digital music making platform leads to the manifestation of human achievement. That is incredible. Human achievement that gets to be felt and heard by everyone. There are infinite ways that we can express our culture, and guess what? Each one counts. Every single one counts. The very act of sharing ideas and learning is a part of culture, and everyone who is here in this space and present is engaging in a learning culture now, as I said, where we learn from others or learn more about how we can seamlessly align our creative flow to a platform that places sounds and silences into profound cultural artifacts with our creative processes and ideas that create temporal sound art. And this fills our spaces, our hearts, and our minds. The music students create from the fleeting ideas to a musical coherence, and has the invisible power to move the physical world, feed our souls, and glue our memories together, to be a part of a musical culture in which we live, in which we survive or thrive in. The music our students create helps, heals us, and empowers us to move and achieve and stop us to hold our breath in a moment of silence to honor what we just heard. None of us are omnipotent. We don't know what our collective creative exponential unknown is of each student. And if we provide the opportunities for this creative expression, the contributions of our students will be infinite, and only then will we get to see what is possible. I do not take this lightly, because where music lives and grows, so does humanity and culture. And just as the tree frog is that indicator species of the health of the rainforest, the thriving tree frog population tells us that a rainforest is healthy, so is a thriving arts and musical culture. It is an indicator, a leading indicator of a healthy society and community. Culture defines and shapes us. And when we get to be the contributing members to this for ourselves or lay the foundation for our students, we are holding endless possibilities to create a phenomenon that is exponentially greater than our individual selves and that will live beyond us. So if you ever think that your music or your students' music doesn't count, or maybe that the contribution doesn't really matter, it does. Because every contribution you make each and every day, from thought to creating even a single 2-count rhythmic pattern, is depositing into the collective cultural bank of our time. And every deposit counts. It's through these daily moments of creativity we begin to live beyond each of us to create artifacts to share what we were thinking, what we were feeling and doing in our time, where we become the cultural founders and bearers of the music that we have now and that will be created. The humanity and cultural competencies bring your uniquenesses into creative culture that must be heard, because each action creates something larger and greater over time. Each action creates something larger and greater over time. So this time you took to learn these past 2 days, this precious time in service to growing, will benefit every student who comes to you as they create a culture that is waiting to come from each of our students and from us through our expression. We have the opportunity to share our next unknown through a fluid, creative, and agile group of learners using sound and its emotive power that connects and helps us create. And use sound and all of its emotive power to help us discover and reveal human potential and its infinite possibilities. When people feel the power of our art form, when they create and feel the power of what they have made, something changes inside of them forever. We are limitless creators, and with music, create cultures to transform what was into what is and lay the foundation for what will be the creative future, because it is found in each and every one of our students. always remember that these platforms get everyone to be the musician, be the composer, be the learner, be the creator, to reveal the musician within that fluid platform that aligns with our creative flow and our brains. I want to thank you so much for this time together. I'm very grateful for Make Music, very grateful for all the support I've had today. And may you go forth and create a new culture found in every student.